Guys, we're on site today right here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, in the top commercial node in our market. Yes, there is an undisclosed restaurant that's for sale. We want to tell you all about the juicy details that you can't find anywhere else right here in this video. Guys, the location's phenomenal. Back behind us is Costco. There's the Coastal Grand Mall just over this way. Literally, it's the place where there's no competition and a maximum amount of traffic. It's the perfect spot for this restaurant that is only minutes away. Now, again, it's undisclosed, so you got to contact us if you want to find out the name and sign a non-disclosure agreement. But I don't want to hold us up. Let's get into the video now. You'd like to invest in commercial real estate. I'd like to show you how these properties make profit and break down all their expenses so you understand how they operate, how they appreciate over time, and how this will impact your taxes. I'd also like to let you know the property's cap rate and how it compares with similar properties in the market, how the location best services its users, and the potential for future growth. I'd like to fill you in on the historical and future occupancy trends, as well as potential management structures affecting the investment. And we won't miss the investment's risk profile nor the best exit strategies. Yes, we'll cover the condition of the property, any value add potential and repositioning, but we'll also dive into special topics like customer base, market positioning, and marketing and booking strategies when it applies. And if you stay tuned until the end, I'll show you my top picks for the best commercial real estate deals that have generated the most annual profits, have the highest appreciation, and the best tax implications. So no matter if you're a first-time investor or a seasoned professional transitioning into the real estate game, or perhaps simply a casual investor looking to relocate to the beach to live, play, and invest so that the passive income can support you in your retirement years. Whether you have 20% to pay down because you're financing or you're a cash buyer, if it's a commercial real estate investment that you're after, you'll be better because I'm aiming to give you a 10 times return on your time for watching my videos until the end. All right, let's work through sellers' discretionary earnings because I know they're making some good money in those owner salaries here for this restaurant.
Well, you've got $1 million a year motel, and the seller's discretionary income's around $200,000 because they're paying themselves. So, you know, a couple there that are paying themselves 2 salaries of a chunk of money, and then they're still making a profit beyond that.
That's right.
And so there's about $200,000 of discretionary income.
So the restaurant itself brings in about $1 million a year. They're selling it for $750,000. They're paying themselves at least $150,000 a year salary out of it, and they're still making a profit at the end of the year. Yeah, sounds like a really good deal, good setup.
Yeah, it's a good setup. They have, you know, so what you're doing in summary is buying a restaurant for $750,000. You've got $150,000 worth of inventory, $150,000 worth of furniture, fixtures, and equipment.
Okay.
It's there, all in top shape, and you've got a couple $100,000, at least $150,000 to $200,000 you can make per year in that property.
So ultimately, you got $300,000 just sitting in hard assets.
Hard assets, $300,000, $450,000, you can make that back in 3 years.
Easy 3 years. There you go, guys. So you get your money back in 3 years, and then after that, it's smooth sailing. You're collecting pure profits.
Yeah. So, and this property has room to grow in that they've got limited hours. You know, they're not.
Oh, let's dive into that. So limited hours. So currently, how the business is ran. He's not the current owner is not maximizing the amount of hours it could be open. Kind of walk through that.
Yeah, it's a 5-day-a-week limited hours operation. So yeah, if you expand to 6 or 7 days, if you expand your hours beyond the times that they're open, then you've got a lot of potential for growth there. You've got growth coming to the area nearby. There's going to be more multifamily, a new hotel. There's always people moving to Myrtle Beach, right?
That's right.
So we're growing all the time. And it's in a good market area overall in that it doesn't have competition close by in the genre that they're in. There are other restaurants and things that are bringing business, and a lot of big box restaurant, the mall, what have you, that's bringing traffic, but it's not direct competition.
Yep. So we are in the commercial node for Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. You'll just look back behind us here. We have Costco, we have Home Depot, we've got another retail strip center here. And then if we turn this way, you can see back behind us, you have the Coastal Grand Mall. There's AT&T over here, and then there's even Best Buy over here. So this is one of the most heavily trafficked areas for shopping and for commercial in our market. All that being said, all the major anchors that are over this way create a strong draw for traffic, and obviously it really serves the restaurant well because there's no competition. In other words, there is not another type of restaurant over here that is direct competition for the restaurant. That's why it does it so well. So you've got a property, you've got a business sitting in a place where there's the maximum amount of traffic in this area without any direct competition. That's a recipe for success.
Yes, it is. And so you just need to take a good look at this. It is a confidential matter, so you have to sign a confidentiality agreement to look into it. But look, it's worth taking the time to look at it.
Absolutely.
I believe you should invest in commercial real estate in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, especially in multifamily properties because of the strong rental demand from a growing population. The city's population grew by over 20% just in the last decade, with a significant portion of new residents moving here due to the low cost of living, warm climate, and access to beach amenities. I believe you should invest in commercial or real estate in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, especially in multifamily properties because of the tourism-driven economy. Tourism accounts for over 25% of the region's economy. The demand from tourism-related workers ensures a steady flow of renters in multifamily units year-round. I believe you should invest in commercial real estate in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, especially in multifamily properties because of the affordable property prices and high cap rates. With an average cap rate for multifamily properties being typically around 7 to 8%, our market is higher than national averages for coastal areas, offering strong rental yield potential. I believe you should invest in commercial real estate in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, especially in multifamily properties because of the potential for value-add investments. Many properties near the coast have strong locations but may be underperforming due to outdated facilities or lack of amenities. Renovating these properties can create significant upside for potential investors.
Now, how consistent are the revenues year over year?
Well, we've got a great local business, and that's what most restaurants want to do. You don't want to be totally dependent on the tourists, right? So they're open for tourists. They get a good tourist business. They got a lot of traffic in the area, but they've got a lot of locals that are very, very strong about this property, and the owner will remain for a time to keep those customers there, keep them coming.
Okay.
They will work with a new buyer to keep them there for a few months and help
train them up.
That's right. Help get everybody ready.
Absolutely. Okay, so does seasonality impact the business a lot? You know, do they make most of their money June, July, and August?
They do make more money in the summertime because they've got that tourism growth that comes in, but it's pretty consistent year round.
Okay, so let's just dive into that for a lot of people that don't understand seasonality in tourism. April through September, that's the peak season. That's 6 months out of the year. I would say, we see the bulk, or I would say 70% of the income in our market probably comes in during that time of the year. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. For restaurants, it can be, if you build a good golf business and you get a lot of golfers in spring and fall, you get a lot of tourists in summertime.
That kind of balances out.
And you get your locals. Your local business goes down a little in summertime because they know it's busy.
That's right.
They're going elsewhere maybe or staying at home. But, that's the way you build a good year-round business, and they've already done that. It's ready to go right now.
All right, we got 3 things to cover. What's included in the sale of this business?
Okay, all the furniture, fixtures, and equipment that are there is ready to go. It's operating. All the inventory's in place. All the furniture's in place, tables, chairs, all that's remaining. They're leaving it, it's ready. You can step into it and operate it.
Absolutely. And then let's talk about how they've been in business for how long?
15 to 20 years in the same location, and it's a thriving business.
It's well established. And then how about the current lease that's in place? Because the property doesn't come with it. Let's talk through lease.
It is a lease, and they're in process of negotiating that now, and really waiting for the new owner to kind of get their input on how long they would like to go, how they like to do extensions. The owner of the property is very reasonable and very helpful. It's one of the lowest lease costs you're going to have to get in a restaurant. You'd be surprised at what some people are paying, and this is, I would say, half of what you might expect.
Yeah, you're hearing it right there. So right now is a prime time to get in and put an offer in on the business if you want to have a stake in how that future lease plays out.
I believe you should invest in commercial real estate in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, because our market has been the fastest growing market out of the 150 most populated markets for the past 3 years. Over 90,600 people relocated to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina in 2023 alone. This means increased demand for commercial space like retail, multifamily, office, and industrial, and ultimately excellent annual profits and appreciation. Now, for retail, more residents equal more consumers equal higher rental sales potential. This drives up rents and occupancy in retail centers. For multifamily, higher population boosts demand for rental housing, pushing rents up and lowering vacancy. Now, for office, job growth typically follows population growth, increasing demand for office space. For industrial, more people means more consumption and e-commerce activity, increasing warehouse and last-mile logistics demand. Ultimately, the return on investment impact is higher rents, lower vacancy, and rising property values that drive higher net operating income and appreciation. I believe you should invest in commercial or real estate in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, especially oceanfront hotels in the hospitality industry because of the 20 to 22 million tourists that visit our market each year, which is the #2 vacation destination on the East Coast. High tourism equals steady demand, making it one of the most visited beach destinations in the United States. Our oceanfront hotels benefit from consistent seasonal occupancy, premium nightly rates compared to inland properties, and repeat visitors including families, snowbirds, and golfers.
So what's got the owner selling?
Well, the owner is he's ready to retire. He's been in the business for a good long time. He has had a couple of health issues in the last few years, but he's still going strong in the business right now. He's currently there pretty much every day, keeps an eye on things. He has all cameras and things up, so he could operate, not be there and still keep an eye on the operation.
Yeah.
But he's just ready to retire, but he's not so ready that he's not willing to stay in the business to help transition.
And so the current owner is the general manager of the business, you'd say?
General manager, bartender, helper,
whatever they need.
Whatever it is,
Yeah.
But they're not dependent on him. He's not the only person doing any of those jobs.
For sure. All right, so personal opinion, broker's opinion of value.
Well, I think this is one of those cases where not only is the restaurant underpriced in their menu, I go there a lot because I think they should be charging more for what they give me, which is really, really good.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think he's being more than reasonable with his asking price. I mean, and he wants to help it, So I think it's reasonably priced in both their food, and that means potential for growth.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And
Because you can raise those prices.
And reasonably priced on the asking price for the operation for what you're getting.
Absolutely. And I have to ask this: do you think he'd go any lower?
Well, you never know.
You never know.
That's always up to the buyer and the seller, whatever they agree to.
Okay. Now let's talk through just for a minute other local restaurants for sale. Compare this one to the other ones. I mean, would you say this one's a better deal with what's currently on the market?
There's not that much on the market that you know of. A lot of the time they're kind of sold inside to somebody working there or somebody you know, whatever. But I would say that this is a good buy. And look, there are other places down here. We want to share that. We're in the brokerage business. I mean, we're touting our client, our friend's place, but there are other restaurants here, and if it doesn't suit, I think there are a lot of good buys right now because we are still on the early cusp of a growth surge. We're at 450,000 people here now. Yep. We're planning on being at 800,000 people within 20 years. That's a lot of growth.
That's a lot of growth. Yeah, it's a lot of growth. So do you want to throw out any kind of other names possibly of restaurants that you know might be a good deal?
Well, I think there is a restaurant on the market. Again, we can't name ours. They have named theirs. There's a Capriccio's on the market. There's a really small place. If you want a really small dive, I can talk to you about. Our restaurant, again, which is unnamed until we get the confidentiality agreement signed, is a medium-sized restaurant. It's 95, seats 95. And, so you can make good money on it, and you could go either way. You could have a manager or you can do it yourself.
I get calls and emails every day from investors just like you looking to make their move into the Myrtle Beach market. They want to invest in short-term vacation rental properties. They want to invest in oceanfront condos. They want to know where the best deals are in our market. Well, guys, you're talking to the right person. 843-360-1737. I'm going to help you put your hands on the best deals in our market. If you're a first-time investor or a seasoned investor, if you're 1 year, 6 months, 3 years out, I don't care where you are in the investing process, pick up the phone, give me a call, send me an email, shoot me a text message, and let one of the many stories on our channel be one of your stories.